Sonic and his team were able to stop the Justice League's greatest foes. But can the Justice League stop Sonic's after they team up with Darkseid? Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story Series, where you get audio dramas of your favorite comic books, helping you decide what to go out and add to your collection. Today we are continuing the DC Sonic the Hedgehog crossover with issue 4 by Ian Flynn. I hope you enjoy. Before, the Ragnarok has grown unstable. Energy pulses around them, but Wonder Woman and Superman leap forward to grab hold of Darkseid. "Don't let him regain control," Superman shouts. "We have to hold the line here," Wonder Woman says to the others. Using a green construct, Green Lantern pushes Sonic and his team of heroes through a boom tube, sending them to the Justice League's Earth. But the Ragnarok's engines are unstable. Flash rushes forward and grabs hold of one of the Chaos Emeralds, but everything is about to explode. Green Lantern reaches out with his powers, shielding the rest of the Justice League in green construct bubbles. "Maybe I can use its power to make us an escape tunnel," Cyborg shouts as he tries to use the Chaos Emerald's power to create a portal in the unstable energy to get them back to Sonic's Earth. Above them, the Ragnarok continues to pulse angrily. Batman looks back from where they came from. Darkseid's dimensional engine is destabilizing the entire planet, the Dark Knight growls. Superman nods and points out that the Ragnarok seems to be containing the energy pulses for the time being, and that it might be enough to keep Darkseid busy. Cyborg looks to his friends, explaining that they need to gather the Chaos Emeralds so that he can devise a way for them to return home. "Well, we already narrowed down the search. Let's wrap this up fast," Flash suggests with a smile. Superman nods and points out that they should also protect this world while Sonic and his team are gone. Later, the Water Palace. Blaze the Cat fights against a squadron of parademons, but suddenly, Stompa and Mad Harriet descend from above and slam into the ground, knocking Blaze aside. "You missed, Stompa," Mad Harriet says with a laugh from Stompa's shoulder. "Cram it, Harriet! I didn't want to risk crushing Lord Darkseid's prize," Stompa tells her friend. But Blaze clutches the Chaos Emerald she is trying to protect. "I don't know why you want it, but I will keep it safe from you to my last breath," Blaze shouts. Mad Harriet begins to jump at Blaze, but suddenly a golden lasso lashes out and wraps around Stompa and Harriet, pulling them back and slamming them into the ground. "You call yourself female furies, but you're nothing compared to the real ones," Diana tells them with a smile. She swings the two furies through the air, slamming them into the parademons and knocking them out of the sky. With the battle won, Diana turns back to Blaze and introduces herself. Diana's eyes fall on the purple Chaos Emerald. "A Chaos Emerald. My allies are searching for them. We hope to use their power to drive the evil from this world and return Sonic and his friends home. Will you part with it?" Diana asks. Blaze ponders this for a moment before handing over the emerald. "Were you anyone else in any other circumstance? No. But I see your valor and nature clearly," Blaze tells her. Meanwhile, between Westopolis and Central City, Metal Sonic races through the night, another emerald clutched in his robotic hand. But Batman revs the engine on his Batcycle, speeding behind the villain. Metal Sonic leaps up and begins to run up the bridge support beams, but Batman fires a grappling hook into his foot, pulling him back down to the bridge. Batarangs fly through the air, but are easily blocked by Metal Sonic. The robot prepares for a battle, but the Batcycle suddenly flies out and slams into him, knocking him to the ground. Without a word, Batman reaches down and retrieves the Chaos Emerald. In the Lava Mountain Castle, Flash finds himself fighting against Baron Vermin, who gloats that with the power of this arcane relic, he is able to control the Deadly Six, the warriors of the Lost Hex. Flash pauses and ponders this for a moment. "So this weird shell controls the Rainbow Coalition of critters? And you're just saying that out loud?" Flash asks with a smile before dashing forward and ripping the arcane relic and the Chaos Emerald from Baron Vermin's hands. Now freed, Zavok of the Deadly Six turns to the Flash. "That is appreciated, stranger. However, that emerald will allow us to wage war in the world below. Relinquish it to me, and I will make your end mercifully swift." Zavok growls. Flash thinks on it for a moment. Say, are you fast at all? Flash asks him. Zavok shakes his head and holds up his massive fists. "My strength is more than enough," he begins to say. But Flash nods and suddenly dashes away in a blur of red. "All talk and claws. Got it. I'd love to stay, but I've got a world to save," Flash calls as he disappears in a burst of speed force. "He's as bad as Sonic," Zavok sighs as he shakes his head. Flash runs away, Speed Force energy crackling around him as he discovers the many loops and ramps of Sonic's world. "Oh my god, this place is amazing!" Flash shouts over the comms, promising to meet up with the rest of the team after he checks out the Empire City's 8-lane highway loop-de-loop. "I promise, I'll be quick," he shouts. Meanwhile, high overhead, Dr. Eggman prepares to strike against the world with his powerful egg fleet now that Sonic and his friends have disappeared. But he looks at his monitors as alerts come up. What is that? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Superman! He shouts in a panic as Superman flies through all his ships without slowing down. Dr. Eggman screams with rage as the Kryptonian smashes through the wall of his capital ship. "You just helped us in confronting Darkseid. Don't you think it's a little early for your vile but inevitable betrayal?" Superman asks as he floats before Eggman. But the mad scientist is cackling as he activates his powerful combat armor. "You know what they say, strike while the iron is hot," Eggman roars. He takes a swing at the Man of Steel with his drill bit arm. But Superman just holds up his hand, and the metal peels back as it comes into contact with his skin. Eggman brings up his shield, but Superman merely swats it aside. He reaches down and rips the helmet off Eggman's combat armor. The evil scientist glares at him. "Egad, man! Have a little decency and engage in some pre-battle banter!" Eggman snaps. Superman just stares at him, explaining that if Eggman doesn't help them, then he won't have a world to take over. "Where is the Chaos Emerald?" Superman asks. Eggman finally sighs and motions the Kryptonian away. "Down in the reactor room, 10 floors down before the engines. You can't miss it," Eggman tells him. Elsewhere in the mystic jungle, Granny Goodness has begun an assault against the Wisps, threatening to drain the energy from the alien life forms. But Green Lantern suddenly appears, slamming down a green construct to block her path. "Stop traumatizing the aliens, Grandma," he shouts. But Goodness launches an attack with yellow energy, knocking Green Lantern against a tree. The Wisps begin to swirl around him, their eyes blinking softly. "Get to cover. This is gonna get ugly," John warns them. But the Wisps continue to swirl, adding their energy to his own. "I see now," John says as he looks down at his glowing ring, now swirling with all the colors. His eyes begin to glow as he recites a new oath. "From across the stars, born from one mother, they give their powers to another. So let the evil discover the unmatched might of all the colors," John Stewart shouts before hitting Granny Goodness with a blast of energy that contains all the colors of the spectrum. With the battle won, the Wisps approach John and offer him their Chaos Emerald. John thanks them and leaps into the sky. "Warn all your friends to hide for now. There's no telling what else they'll run into," John calls to them. Shortly, the rest of the Justice League return to Tails' lab and hand over their Chaos Emeralds to Cyborg. He explains that he can't use the Emerald's energy to open a boom tube home, as the Ragnarok's dimensional engine has disturbed space-time too much. Instead, he plans on sending the Emeralds back to their world, in the hopes that Sonic and the others can use them to trace back to this world and open a boom tube for them. Diana looks at the heroes gathered, How can we be certain that this plan will succeed? She asks. Superman smiles at them all. We'll put our faith in our friends. It's the whole reason we sent them through, isn't it? And so, Cyborg builds his machine and sends the Chaos Emeralds into the multiverse. It only takes moments before there is a massive boom and a portal opens. The heroes watch as Sonic and his team step through. We're back! Did you miss us? Sonic asks, and Flash smiles at his speedy friend. Took you long enough. And that is where issue 4 of the DC Sonic the Hedgehog crossover concludes. The Justice League and Team Sonic have met back up. It is time for them to take their fight to Darkseid. So be sure to subscribe to the channel to get notified when that video comes out. And if you enjoyed today's video, like it and leave a comment below. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.